Hello friends, DCY Stezza here, bringing you another episode of the EMC generator series. And in this episode, we are going to be doing a tree farm. I had a suggestion for a tree farm a few weeks back, and I basically just never got around to doing it. I have it on my notice board to do a tree farm, but I appear to have just sort of blanked it for a few weeks. As you know, recently I've been partaking in the Steam sale. So I've been have lots of games I want to be doing videos on, but I thought, don't want to stop the Minecraft videos, because at the end of the day, that's primarily what this channel is all about. Now this build, I sort of thought about a while back, and I'm not going to delude myself by thinking that I'm the only person who's come up with this build. I know I'm not. I went onto YouTube and I typed in tree farms to see if anybody else had come to the same conclusions I had, and yes, there are several people who, let's just say several, a lot more than several people who have come up to the same conclusion as I have. I would like to give a special mention to one person. His YouTube name is Jed Midget. Jed Midget? I'm going to check that. I want to say his name right. Jed Midget. Because I had, much like anybody who's coming up with a new idea, I had like a barrier that was stopping this idea from working, and it was such a simple solution, but I just couldn't get my head around it. And then I just like basically just looking on YouTube for a way to fix this problem, and I just stumbled upon his build, which is almost identical to mine in its design, but he had fixed said problem with this solution. So I want to give a shout out to Jed Midget, because he gave me a hammer, you may say, to break down that wall. So thank you. But anyway, let's get on with it. So unfortunately, you will not be able to do this build for very long, because, well, you might be able to, but basically the new Equivalent Exchange 3 is going to be hitting mainstream, I guess you could say, in the next couple of months. And when it does, there's going to be a lot of changes in the Equivalent Exchange which stop you from doing this. The foremost being that energy condensers will no longer be in Equivalent Exchange 3. They said that they are going to be putting in an appropriate replacement, but the whole point of the Equivalent Exchange 3 is balance issues, to try and stop people from doing these EMC generators. So you may find that you won't be able to do that, but if you keep Equivalent Exchange 2, then who knows, you might be fine. So let's get started. You heard me yappy for long enough. Right, so first off the bat, you're going to need an assembler. This is how you make the assembler. Now, the bundled cables may look like they're complicated, but they're actually not very bad at all. That's how you make the bundles. It's just a white insulated wire, which is very simple. It's just red iron wire with wood around it. Wow, I've been playing too much Civ. I went to call it cotton then. I'll explain everything that's in my inventory very shortly. So we're going to start by just going assembler like that. That's simple. Then you're going to put a gap space in between, and I put another gap in just because I'm weird like that. And you're going to put down an alchemical chest, not an energy condenser, an alchemical chest. In the alchemical chest, you want to place yourself a black hole band. This is how you make a black hole band. They are actually not as expensive as people seem to think. Lava bucket with some iron, that's very reasonable. That's not even a diamond. That's, how much is that? That's 1,000. That's only like 1/3 of a diamond. Oh, balls. And then it's just 2 dark matter with some string. So, you know, it's expensive, but not as expensive. People seem to sort of go mental over it, like, oh my god, you know, but no. So alchemical chest, you're going to put your black hole band in the bottom right corner like that, and then you're going to get yourself some filters, and you're going to place one filter like that, so it's going to be taking out of this chest and going left, and the same on the other side but going right. Then you want to get yourself some redstone tubing, and just go like this, and this one you want to just flat out connect to the assembler like so. This one, on the other hand, you want to have an energy condenser chest here. Okay, then you want another filter coming out of the other side of the energy condenser, which is facing in the opposite direction, like so. Then you want to connect up to the side of the assembler, like that. Okay, in this energy condenser, you want to place one bone meal. Like I say in all my videos, make sure it is only one bone meal. If you have more than one bone meal in this slot here, it can cause slot placement over on this end to really mess up. So I would suggest that you be pretty vigilant about that. Then in this filter, you want to put 10 bone meal. I will cover why you can change that number later, but right now let's just say that's what it is. Then you want to take 10 woods. Now this is the most important thing. We are going to be using normal saplings. Okay, for normal saplings, it makes normal wood. If you use rubber saplings, you need to use rubber wood. If you use, whatever type tree you use, that's the type of wood that you need to put in there. Okay, it's that simple. And in this one, you want to put 10 of whatever sapling that you want to be using into this filter here. Okay, that's simple. Then you want to just put a stack of whatever filter, whatever sapling you're using, a stack of whatever bone meal you're using in there. Okay, then you want to go bone meal in the second slot, your sapling in the first slot, and your dark matter axe in the third slot. Make sure this is charged up. You charge it up by putting it in your inventory, selecting it down here, and pressing V twice, and it will fully charge. For those of you who don't know, to decharge it is Shift and V, but you want it at maximum charge. Then you put the second one in this slot here. So you will have to make 2 dark matter axes. This is an EMC generator, so you will make this back fairly quickly. Or you can use it as a wood farm. It's up to you. But anyway, that's how you want to do this. I will explain how this works towards the end. This is just how it is built. This is personal preference. Just remember that this bit I'm going to add on here is personal preference. Okay, so you just do like this, add 2 bits of tubing onto that, and you put down an energy condenser here. Then you want to open up this energy condenser and place an 8 inhaler fuel in this slot here, like so. Okay, then you want to open up this and put an 8 inhaler slot in this, an 8 inhaler fuel in this slot here. Okay, excellent. Right, we're actually nearly done. This is such an easy build. Okay, so this is your bread and butter right here. So right. So now you want to get some. Oh, I don't actually have any redstone. I tell you, one thing I hope they fix is this whole timers not being able to directly interact with redstone pneumatic tubing. It's really annoying. So then you want to go 1 timer here, like so, and you want to slow it down. You want to speed it up, sorry, to 0.7 seconds, and like that. So it's starting to work now. I'll explain how it's working in a moment. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you want to place a piece of redstone like that, and do exactly the same for this piece of piping here as you did a second ago. So you want to slow it down to, speed it up to 0.7 seconds. Then over this side, you want to do the same again to this bit of piping here, because you need to power this filter. Remember that you could just do that. Okay, so you could just do that to every filter if you wanted to, but you can do it for this one, because this one doesn't need this piping to be powered. And then you just slow it down, speed it up. Sorry, I keep saying slow it down. Why do I keep doing that? And that is it. So you now have an automatic tree farm. There is only one thing that you need to do to this, so it's not fully automatic, I guess, but it is. Okay, now this is what I'll discuss in a moment. Let's take this out just to stop it from continuing. Let's get rid of all this. Oh, balls. Go away. Right. I'm going to turn on creative so I can fix this solution. Right, now, how this essentially works is... Oh, piss. Okay. Note that I'm putting a piece of wood here, okay? So, how this essentially works is the assembler, when given redstone power, will basically go down a sequence, like a rotation, if you will. So the first thing in the rotation is a sapling. So when the assembler receives power, redstone signal, which is coming from this piping because of this timer, it will place a sapling. Then when it receives a second pulse, we'll bone meal that sapling, and then receives another pulse, we'll use the dark matter ability, which is it instantly removes all wood and leaves attached to that wood. It only works if it has all of those things down here. So that's why you need to have the other dark matter axe in this slot here. That's the only way it will work. So basically, it places it, makes it grow, removes it. Then the item block, the loot ball, I think it's called, one of those, lands and is sucked up by the dark by the black hole band in this chest here. So all of the items, the ball drops, comes in here, divides out in here. Now, for those of you who are wondering why I've used the black hole band, if you use a transposer or a pipe or anything like that that would pick up that item and move it into that chest that isn't the black hole bands, it will just become a loot ball in this chest. Okay? So it just won't work. So make sure that you use this method and don't try and don't be like, oh, I'll just use a transposer instead of the black hole band, because I tried it, it don't work. Okay, it'll just move the loot ball into this chest. So don't do that. Come onto this video and be like, it's not working. That's why it's not working. Now from this side, it's taking out the wood, moving it into here and making your bone meal, which is then getting moved back in. So that's where your bone meal resource is coming from. It's coming from the wood that comes from the tree. Your sap is obviously being taken out of this side and is being moved directly into it. So that's your sapling income. So your bone meal and your saplings are both covered from the tree. Okay. Now the last thing is the Aetenalis. So when this is full, when this bit here is full, it will then, because it can't fill the assembler, will move down this side and go into here and start making the Aetenalis. Now to prove this point, I'm going to quickly just fill it up so that you can see that I'm not lying. Bone meal. How many more do we need? And we'll go sapling. Okay, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 2, like that. Okay, so now if I activate it, we shall see what will happen when it's full. So I'll put my axe back in there. Doesn't need to be in that slot there, it just needs to be in this item slot area here. So as you can see, the ball is getting sucked up by the chest. It's getting opened up in here. Obviously, it's waiting until it's got 10, because that's the predetermined thing that we made the filters do. So it's coming down here, and it's going into there. Okay, so that, you know, this is established. Now the reason why is because that isn't full, but you can see the bone meal here is in fact coming in. So we get the saplings. Aha! See, look, it couldn't find space for the bone meal. So it moved it down. Now if we put those in there like that. There we go, see? Now this won't happen every time, because as soon as it finds room for 10, so as soon as that becomes 54, it'll fill it. Okay? But with the new version of Minecraft, it will actually try and fill it as much as it can. So that was a stack of 10. It finds room for 6. It drops 6 off and then brings 4 down here. It didn't used to do that, but it does in the new version, which came out a few months back. So it will just constantly keep, see, 61, 64, 63, 62, 64. Okay? So now you are literally making excess energy, which is coming into here, which is making Aetenalis. When this is obviously your item pickup zone. When your Aetenalis is full and is complete, you just drop it into here. Now you might think, well, if you're using that energy to power the dark matter axe and you're not really making EMC, you definitely are, because this one Aetenalis fuel, I mean, I put this one in there when we started doing this, and it's still going. Okay, and we've nearly made another one. Okay. So provided that Aetenalis fuel lasts longer than it takes to make one, you're making an EMC. So, I mean, I'll prove that fact right now. I will just stay recording so that you can see that this runs out after you make another one. So, boom, we've just made another Aetenalis fuel. And as you can see, this Aetenalis fuel isn't finished yet. The reason why that is because a redstone is 64 EMC, and every 2 ticks of this axe takes 1 of those redstone away. So it cuts down a tree once, cuts down a tree twice, and a redstone is taken away. So that means that every time that the dark matter axe chops down once, it effectively uses 32 EMC of fuel. This is 8,192. That means that 10 will be 300, 100 would be 3,000, which means that it can chop down a tree 200 and something times before that this Aetenalis will run out. Okay? 200 and odd times. I imagine it's maybe done it 50 times, maybe. You know, and we've made one and we're halfway towards making the next one. So, you know, there you go. So this is where you pick up your items. So, you know, when this has got loads of Aetenalis fuel and you've got a stack in here, you can just come along and pick this up and use it as fuel. Or you could just have it so that however you want. You could not even have this. This is what I mean by personal preference. You could take this section out, okay, and just have it collect from here. Because if it can't go from here into this chest, it won't remove it from the alchemist chest. So this will just stack up with loads of wooden saplings. So if you're looking for just a flat out tree farm, you're not even looking for EMC, you just want wooden saplings, all you have to do is come to here. And it'll just be here. And you can just remove this entire section over here. And you can just fill this up manually. Okay, so the 18H has just been used up. But as you can see, it's still going. It'll go for some time. Because it's sort of like, it's registered that the item has been consumed, but there's still energy in the axe for it to continue to be used. So like, this will probably still go for some time before it'll actually be used up. I don't know what the ratio is, but as you can see, we've made 2 now. So even if it ran out right now, we've made 1 while the other one was being consumed. I think we'll actually be looking at making 3 by the time that gets used up, because this will go for some time. So that is essentially a tree farm right there. Now this could be made smaller if you really wanted to. 1, by taking this off. 2, maybe making it go down. 3, putting these timers on the inside. Putting them all on the inside rather than the outside. But I think this current build is good enough, in all honesty. But yeah, that is your EMC generator tree farm, and to be honest, the EMC generation off it is pretty good. So like, we made 2 already, and they're about a diamond. In fact, they're nearly exactly a diamond to go. So you know, it's not amazing, but it's very small. It's very small and very cheap. But more importantly, that is a tree farm, because the original request wasn't actually for an EMC generator, it's for a tree farm. So if we take that away, it becomes a tree farm. Infinite wood, essentially, is what you have there, without just using like a dark room and then just turning it into wood. But there you go. So yeah, thank you to I forget his name every time, Jed Midget, for giving me. So what he basically told me, or what I've gathered from him, was the black hole band. I couldn't figure out a way of getting the item balls in this chest to actually open up rather than just staying as item balls. And the wood that I put up here, you probably don't want to use as tree wood, or as the leaves are growing at, like stone or something. Stops the tree from growing so high that the axe can't remove it in one go. So you basically want to let it grow once into a normal tree, leave like 2 blocks, and then put like a piece of stone there so it can't really grow much bigger than a normal tree. So that's a bit of advice there. So yeah, so that's been the automatic tree farm. I hope you've enjoyed it. There will be a new Tekkit series being started soon. I'm thinking about doing Tekkit Lite, which has got the new equivalent exchange, and it's got like the factory mods and stuff like that. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you want me to stick with the classic Tekkit, or if you want me to go on to Tekkit Lite. Maybe some of the other mods that mod packs that the Technic people and Vodpox and people like that provide. So let me know in the comments below, or send me a PM. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been useful, and I will see you next time.